We need to talk about Sunday's new moon solar eclipse happening at 29 degrees of Virgo. First things first, what is a solar eclipse? So basically, a solar eclipse is a new moon on steroids because it's when the sun and the moon are aligned just right, and so the moon appears to block out the sun's rays from Earth's perspective. But for this particular solar eclipse, it's only a partial solar eclipse, so only part of the sun will appear to be blocked out. And this particular solar eclipse will only be visible in parts of the southern hemisphere, including New Zealand and I believe it was Eastern Australia and Antarctica. So for the rest of us, just really think of this as like a really potent and intense new moon. And with new moons, it's like new beginnings and fresh energy, and like it signals the beginning of new cycles. But with this one, there is a little bit of a twist because it's a south node solar eclipse, meaning it's closer to the south node, and it's also happening at 29 degrees of Virgo, meaning it's like we've reached the full maturity of that sign, and so we're at like a culmination moment. The 29th degree is known as an anaretic degree, meaning that it's like we've reached the full maturity of the sign, and so it's like we're at like the peak expression of Virgo. And so these Virgo themes around like our daily habits and our rituals and our routines and our overall health and well-being and utilizing our discernment and common sense and any tendency towards like perfectionism or hypercriticism or being like judgmental of ourselves, but also like problem solving and, being detail oriented, all these Virgo themes are up for review. Now, with this being a south node new moon eclipse and also happening at the 29th degree, I was viewing this as like it's not like a brand new beginning, but rather it's like a new cycle around something that we've already started, and we're just like building on something that we've already started. And so it's kind of like we already have our rough draft, and so under this new moon it's like we're editing it and refining it and improving it and making it better and getting rid of the excess and getting rid of those things that we don't need and kind of again just like making it better. And so it's like we're pruning and trimming away those things that we don't need and those things that are unhelpful and unnecessary, and just like cluttering things up and getting rid of those things in order to make our journey a little bit lighter and a little more clear moving forward. This new moon eclipse is also opposite the planet Saturn that is currently retrograde in the sign of Pisces, and so there's this feeling of needing to take responsibility for the routines and the rituals and the habits in our lives, and also taking responsibility for the boundaries that we have in our life. And that goes for boundaries within our relationships, but also boundaries that we have with ourselves. And there's this sense of needing to take responsibility for our energy hygiene as well. And so that goes for like physical hygiene as well as mental hygiene, and like paying attention to the thoughts that we're thinking, and also our spiritual hygiene. Are you meditating and doing the things that are good for your